All right, what's up? Back again with another video, and you can probably already guess it's going to be another workout explain video. My plan is right now is to just take you through my full training split at the moment and do an explanation of every single training day that I have on the split. So today we're going to do an explanation of my chest and shoulder day. And I might have mentioned before that I wasn't doing a chest and shoulder day. I was doing chest and biceps, shoulders and triceps. Well, for me, something that I'm addressing now is a weak point has always been my arms. I have longer arms. So I really want to bring those up. So what I did was I put chest and shoulders together because my shoulders and chest, they're both genetically a stronger point for me. So I'm training those together in the same day just because I don't need to prioritize them as much. And then I'm doing my arms, bis and tris together on a later day with also a little bit of back work as well. So I'm going to get right into it and explain the full layout for today's session. All right, so we got the trusty whiteboard pulled up here. So today, this is my lineup for the workout. We have a total of 7 different exercises, I believe. A little bit more, but because I'm only training chest and shoulders once per week, it's okay if I do a little bit more volume throughout the workout. So we're going to start out with the first movement of the day, and that is going to be an incline barbell press. And like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I'm actually starting out with my heaviest movement earlier on or first in the workout. Typically, I wouldn't do that, but because I'm still young, I really want to try and prioritize building up my strength still. So I think it's important to put those big meat and potato movements right away in the workout. So we're going to do an incline barbell press. I've actually been really liking this one recently. I've had a good connection with it. I've been increasing strength and adding on reps each week. So we're going to do a top set of 6 to 10. The first week, I hit a top set for 6 reps. Then the next week I did the same weight, hit it for 7. And now today I'm gonna use the same weight and try and hit it for 8. Eventually we're gonna try and work up to 10. Once it gets to 10, we'll up the weight on that set. After that set, we're gonna do a little bit higher reps for the set. We're gonna do a back off set. So I'm gonna drop the weight by roughly 30 to 40 pounds here and get anywhere from 12 to 15 reps. Again, same thing here, just adding a rep each week. So first week I did 12, last week I did 13. Now I'm gonna try and get 14 to 15 today. And once I hit 15, I'll up the weight. So from there, we're going to go on to a machine press. So we're going to go into a plate-loaded Cybex press. I love anything plate-loaded for chest, just for pressing movements. I love just being able to get locked into a good pressing machine, and that allows me to really kind of take everything out of the movement and just focus on my chest. Where with a barbell press, I can get pretty locked into that and get a really good connection with my chest. But even more so with a machine press, because all that stabilization, balancing, everything else is taken out of the movement, so I can solely just focus on squeezing those pecs, driving that weight up. And again, with everything, we want to focus on squeezing the weight up from point A to point B by squeezing. We don't want to just move it from point A to point B by swinging or using momentum. We want to actually move the weight by utilizing those muscles that are designed to be doing the work. So here we're going to go up to a top set of 8 to 10. Again, trying to progress all these from week to week. This week, I'm going to try and hit a goal for 10 reps. And then after that set, we're going to move into a rest pause set. So we're going to keep the weight the same there. So if I were to do that top set again, say I got 10 today, if I went all out again, I might only get 7 or 8 reps. But instead of going just all out, we're going to do a rest pause set. So I'm going to go all out, say I get 7 reps, rest 10 to 15 seconds, I get 4 more, rest 10 to 15 seconds, I get 2 to 3 more. So that would be 11, 13 to 15 reps potentially with the same weight that I could only get 10 reps before. So like I mentioned in all my other videos, it's going to allow me to get lots of those tough grinder reps in. Those tough grinder reps is what's going to create a new stimulus that's going to force your body to add on new tissue. From there, we're going to go on to shoulders. I'm not doing any overhead pressing for shoulders today. Number one, shoulders aren't genetically a weak point for me. But number 2, I generally think overhead presses for shoulders are a little bit overrated just because a press, it's not really a width exercise for your shoulders. It's all front delt with a press. Sure, you're going to get some side medial delt, but it's primarily going to be that front delt. When we're talking about a front delt here, we're going to be hitting that plenty with an incline press, a flat press, even a fly. Our front delts are going to be getting tons of work as a secondary muscle mover in our presses in general. So to exert a bunch of energy to do a heavy overhead press, to me, it's just not as efficient of a movement for me right now. So that's why I'm prioritizing the medial head, the side part of the delt, because really that's what's going to create the most width look to your physique. Now, again, if you like overhead presses, if they work for you, if you have leg and front delts, great. use them. They might work really well for you, but again, this is my split and what's working best for me right now. So I'm utilizing the movements that work well for me. So any kind of a lateral raise, side delt movement, that's what I'm going to be prioritizing. So we're going to do a lying cable side lateral raise. This has been my favorite movement by far for lateral raises, because when you do it lying down, there's no momentum. You can't rock back and forth to swing the weight up. You're doing it down in a horizontal flat position. No momentum there. Number two, the cables, you're going to be pulling out from the side. So you're going to have tension from the bottom of the movement. Majority of the tension is going to be at the bottom of the movement, where if you use a dumbbell, there's essentially no tension when you're down here. All the tension comes up when it's loaded in the shortened position. Where with the cable, all the tension is going to be in the lengthened position, and still majority of it in the shortened position as well. So there's so much more tension using cables, whole lot more control, and it just makes a lot more sense from a muscle building standpoint. So we're going to do a top set there, 10 to 12. Again, trying to progress this week to week. Second set, keeping that weight the same. We're going to do a 3 rest pause set. Same thing with the Cybex press. We're going to keep that weight the same and theoretically try and get a total rep count of anywhere from 14 to 17 reps here. And once I get that top end of the rep range, that's how I know it's time for me to increase the weight. From there, we're going to go to a reverse pec deck. Reverse pec deck for the rear delt, I should say. And we're going to do a top set of 10 and 12, and then a back off set of 12 to 15. With rear delts, I don't go super crazy on rear delts, just because if you train your back like a maniac, like you should, we all should train our back pretty hard, you're already going to be getting a lot of rear delt work with them. So if you spend all this extra time and energy doing rear delt focused movements, that's potentially energy that you could be putting towards something else and you don't necessarily need it. Again, if we have leg and rear delts, which lots of us do, then that's okay. You might need to put more direct work to your rear delts. But for someone like me, where shoulders from front to back are one of my stronger muscle groups, I'm not going to be spending that extra energy training a muscle when I could be spending extra energy on muscles that need to be brought up, like my legs, my arms, my back, etc. So now we're going on to another chest movement, kind of our last actual progressive overload movement for chest for the day. We're going to do a seated decline cable fly. Pretty much all of my flies recently I've been doing with a cable, and all of them I've also been doing from a seated position with a bench supporting my back. The reason I do these seated is with a fly, again, if you're doing like a standing fly, you can use momentum. You can torque your body, bend in certain ways that makes the movement easier. But when I sit back into a bench, I can really lock myself into place and slowly just focus on driving those pecs together. So it's been a huge help for me. We're going to do a top set there of 10 to 12, and then a back off set of 12 to 15, trying to progress that from week to week. And this is going to be decline, so we're hitting that bottom portion of our chest. So as you can see now, we've got an incline, we've got a flat, and a decline. And then our last set of exercises today is going to kind of be our metabolic work. And normally I wouldn't do this, but because we're only hitting chest and shoulders once per week at the moment, it's okay if I fit in a little bit of extra work towards the end. So we're going to do a superset of a Smith machine push-up and a dumbbell lateral raise. And this is all just kind of going to be pump work designed to just kind of really fatigue and exhaust the muscle. So we're going to do 2 rounds here of 12 to 20 reps per side, and then a drop set for both movements on the last round. And again, I'm not really tracking this movement. I don't really care the actual numbers I get. I'm solely just focusing on just taxing the muscle, going to failure, and fatiguing everything as much as I possibly can. But yeah, so that's the layout for today's workout. Every set here you see, every one of these sets is taking a true failure. The sets you don't see on here are all the warm-ups or feeder sets, I can say. Typically for every one of these exercises, I'll do anywhere from 2 to 4 just warm-up sets to find that working weight for myself. And I don't show these there because those sets don't matter. They're just getting your body primed up and ready for the sets that do matter, which are the sets you see right here. So I can't wait. It's going to be a really good day. I've been kind of locked in and dialed in this whole morning, thinking about all those movements I'm going to be doing and just focusing on progressing them, and visualizing just getting better today, which is kind of a big deal of this that you really want to focus on. Visualize it and then go and execute.
what I told him I would do. That's why I gotta make it. So you're right, first. Bye.